And then these guys are Madison locals on the other team.
All right, Fruit Loop dropping that knowledge.
Yep, come to Construct. You see these guys a lot.
Yeah, it's a good venue. It's fun. Definitely come out here if you can, guys.
They got a little bar, pool tables everywhere.
All right, oh man, Spaceys and then Lucario and Falcon. That's going to be hectic. And it already is. There's lots of hits everywhere. I don't be really getting a combo started yet.
They want to play Falcon versus Fox and Lucario versus Falco. That's what Red Team wants.
Yeah, and why do they want Lucario versus Falco? What's the advantage?
They don't want Falco versus Falcon. Fox still beats up Falcon, but his legs aren't as long, so like Falcon can get hits against Fox. But against Falco, it's just shut down, and he does combos so fast on Falcon.
Yeah, it is nice that Falcon has that powerful Falcon kick now to actually get out of things.
Yeah, it's so quick.
And
yeah, see, Lucario can combo Falco just fine. So that's the setup they want. And then blue team wants the opposite, Falco on Falcon.
And one thing I'm noticing that they're doing a pretty good job of is they're keeping the space animals towards the ledge. They're holding the center.
Yes, that's really the whole point of teams. That's what you want to set up, all these little situations where they're sort of right next to each other, the other team, so they can't really do attacks out of fear of hitting their partner.
Yeah.
And then you just get all the options.
Although right now it's kind of split off more into the 1v1s, but it's working out in red team's favor.
Yeah, it was sort of 1v1s, but a lot of it was somebody was off the stage the whole time on the blue team, so they couldn't ever start anything because they had to help their deadweight teammate.
Falcon gets back for free. No edge guard. Oh, he gets caught with the spike.
The PM.
But nice edge guarding from Fox.
And Lucario's just zipping around everywhere. He can throw a move so quick with his cancel mechanic.
Now, one thing I have wondered, is it harder to get a Shine Spike now that the Shine doesn't have the one-frame invincibility?
That's not true. Things that would be Shine Spikes in Melee are still Shine Spikes in PM, but they'll trade. So you still die because you got Shine Spiked, but your recovery will trade with Fox. So it just means things will trade instead of Fox just winning, but you'll still get hit by the Shine, so
it just means
it doesn't really help that much.
Yeah, God.
It doesn't really help, but it was dumb that it was invincible anyway, so even though it didn't help, it was a good change, I think.
All right, and right now, the blue team's still staying in this.
If they die at all, they're probably going to lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here goes Fox.
Especially at this percentage, Fox is a glass cannon.
Fox can't do anything, so even though he's not dying really, he's like, can't help. So Falco just sort of has to fight a lot by himself and takes a lot of damage.
I mean, he can at least threaten space a little bit, but yeah, absolutely. Like oh, wow. No chance to come back there. Just raw knee to the face.
Yeah,
love it.
That's a common team situation where one team has 2 stocks and the other one has 3. And it's really important to keep the extra stock as the 3 because you could both die and then be stuck in a 1 stock versus 2 stock, and then you wouldn't really be able to use your extra stock. So the lead can kind of not count for anything if the 2 play it right, but they were too far behind within the stock. And it banned some stages. I don't know what people ban in PM.
I never know. It's a different stage set like at pretty much every tournament I go to.
Even in Melee, people I think ban more versus the stages that they like or are familiar with rather than like really matchup guidelines.
Yeah.
So it's hard to predict what people are going to ban anyway.
A lot of times, I mean, especially if like nerves are getting to you, that may be the better option. If you know the biggest problem is just that you need to calm down.
Just be in your happy place.
Yeah, and interesting. This is actually allowed because it doesn't lag like it does on the GameCube version, right? Or it doesn't skip frames.
Yeah, it doesn't lag. The reflection isn't as good in the water. It's the water pool reflecting the characters in Melee. That's what slows it down.
Oh man, Falcon almost got a nice setup for a sick combo there, but.
So I think their whole plan is to keep Falcon from being able to do aerials because it's Fountain, which is traditionally really bad for Falcon, even in singles. So they're going to get lots of nice hits because the Spaceys can do like fall through attacks and Falcon can't.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's as true these days too, but I remember this used to be a Falco favorite early in the Melee days because Falco could always just control the platforms with down air. Yeah,
you could do down air onto the platform, drop back down with the down air, and just loop that. Shizwiz was like the guy who really started that.
Good old Shiz. And he finally started playing again.
Yeah, I seen him at some stuff. I don't know, he's not doing that well. But it's cool to see he's back.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players, like, you watch him more for the cool play style.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and as we say that right now, even game, Falcon trying to get the stomp to knee. It just pounds Falco back into the stage.
The platform heights have been really fortunate. There's always one platform on the ground, like invisible, out of play, and one of them's really high. So Falcon has been able to do all his big moves that they've been getting hit with, but it's like dead even.
Yeah, so the counter pick is definitely working to do exactly what you said. It's limiting Falcon's ability to just throw out aerials.
Oh, this is just a big mess. All right, blue team was stuck in the middle for a split second, but they came out on top with some key up tilts.
I think, and when it's in a mess situation like that, I think it does favor the space animals, well, at least versus this team.
Yeah.
Because they have the better, like, stray hits when they're at the lower
They have the better
percentages.
quick moves, like Shine. They can do a lot of characters, when you're in a scary situation, you can block, and you kind of don't know when you're going to be able to stop blocking. You just have to sort of wait it out. But Spaceys are really good at, like, finding a spot to just stick out Shine out of shield because it's so quick, and they can really just turn the tide. So they're really good defensive teams characters, which is part of why they're so good.
Yeah. Especially Fox. You can play it offensively, you can play it defensively.
Yeah,
it's so
and
versatile.
when Falco gets like a Shine out of shield in those like pressure situations, it brings Falco and the teammate way up to the top platform. So things like it clears the air a lot. So even if Fox can't do something, Falco's going to get out of the way and bring a teammate with him.
Yeah, and a convincing 3-stock. The stage really worked out for them there.
It might not have been the heights as much as it was just small, and they could use their good defensive moves.
Yeah, that was one thing too. Falcon couldn't maneuver to the edge as often, or to maneuver himself from outside the edge as often. Neither could Lucario. So I'm gonna guess they're gonna opt for the biggest, one of the biggest stages that they can.
Yeah, Lucario didn't have time to like space his dash attack that he wants to lead into all his cancel stuff. When dash attack hits a shield, you can cancel it into a lot of different moves. So he can use that to start his pressure. But when he didn't have room to like run around, he couldn't start it. So he kind of got swamped just like Falcon.
That's the craziest thing when I'm fighting Lucario. It's like, I still don't know that much about PM. I've been working on my knowledge, I swear. But yeah, when Lucario hits me and I'm like, okay, like I can grab this, and it's like, nope, I'm just gonna take a lot of damage apparently.
Yeah, he can cancel the lag of different moves into the startup of other moves. So I think a main thing to do is roll. He has a hard time rolling against roll because he's gonna cancel into the next move, and that leaves him attacking where you were. So roll is a really strong choice against Lucario, I think. It should be the go-to until you find out like exactly what kind of strings that Lucario does or like what kind of moves he's trying for.
Yeah, and as he does one of those strings right there, right into an aura.
Oh, the aura is such a cool move, but it never really works out. It has a lot of like, it's too slow, and when you block it, there's no real shield stun. Like you can just block it and just move on. You can reflect it, it can just get shined. So you need very good setups to make it work. But then the size and slow-moving projectile is super nice.
Yeah, I like the way he tried to set it up as an edge guard situation and then covering the option, but unfortunately he failed. And
I've seen Firefoxes go through it.
Oh wow!
If they get the right angles, then it's like gotta hurt box, so you can beat it, sort of like you can clank with various projectiles. So it's sort of a nice move, but it costs a lot of meter and doesn't really seem to add up. But it was cool. A lot of edge guard setups I think are possible, but not as much against space animals because they just have so many angles that they can just pick one that goes around the problem area.
And what do you think of this counter pick? It gives them a lot of room to move. It gives the red team a lot of room to move, but it's also actually, are the ceilings as low as they are in Pokemon Stadium 2 in the...
Yeah, it's very low ceiling. I think Spaceys and teams have a huge advantage against regular characters in that they can traverse up to the top platform and back down really quickly, so they can kind of use that to go around like stuck areas. Like they can use that to get on the other side of you and all of these kinds of things like that. But without the top platform here, they kind of have to fight left to right, and so that advantage is kind of mitigated. Oh, he tried so hard to dodge that it cost his stock.
I think it scared him because the last edge guard that he got hit by was one of those ore balls. And yeah, no, I've definitely seen that in Melee too, where a lot of people will either counterpick Stadium or allow Stadium as a counterpick simply because of the lack of the top platform. Like I'll see Peaches and Marths out for it now, simply because they're kind of characters that have a hard time catching Spaceys on the top platform, and even with the lower ceiling, it seems to be worth the trade-off.
Yeah, it's a lot like FD, but people are really like having platforms as an option, even if the other team's really good also at using platforms. Just they want to have that comfort.
Oh man, and this Lucario is just going to town on these edge guards right now.
Oh, this was a set of the counter picks for sure.
Yeah.
The stage is decided. So game one was the whole set. Now Lucario can set up his little strings.
It's really cool to see how like how the stages really influence the matchups with their characters.
It's really big in PM especially, because there's a lot more, the characters aren't as similar to each other, so stages are usually very good or very bad.
All right, and solid performance by the red team.
Yep, Banjo and Ryuki move on. This is all losers, because winners is silver.